Welcome to Library 100. My name is Leah Thomas, and I'll be your instructor for the next 8 weeks of class. Let me start by telling you a little about Library 100. Some of you are probably wondering why you have to take a library studies class in order to transfer or graduate from CSM. Something happened in the last 20 years that changed the way we all live our daily lives, and especially has changed the way that students do research. Of course, that thing is called the internet. The internet kicked off an information explosion, and now we find ourselves smack dab in the middle of the information age. Now that we have millions of bits of data at our fingertips, what do we do with it? How do we use it? How do we know the information we find is any good? It's those kinds of questions that got teachers and educators thinking. Now that information is such an integral part of all of our lives, we need to make sure that our students know how to locate it, evaluate it, and use it responsibly, and navigate their way through all of these new ways of information that we have access to. And thus, the information competency requirement was born at many colleges. It's not just that teachers and educators decided that students needed to learn this stuff. Everyone sees a real need to make our students more information competent and information literate. Our reading this week, What Students Don't Know in Inside Higher Ed, shows how students are using and not using the library for their academic work. There is a widening gap between students using Google and Wikipedia versus students using more reliable and academic sources for their research. The line is blurring between informal information needs, the information you seek to answer questions in your everyday life, that's like going to Wikipedia, going to Google. That line is getting blurred between informal and your formal information needs, which is the information you seek when you're actually working on a research paper or a project. For example, you may use Wikipedia to settle a bet with a friend about Justin Bieber's birthday. But should you really use the same resource to write your physics paper? Teachers don't really like that. So those kinds of issues and questions we're going to be asking and answering in this class. In addition to the College of San Mateo information competency requirement, all the UC schools and state schools in California have library requirements or information competency requirements, which are required for graduation. So that means this class fulfills the transfer and graduation requirements for all of the UC and state schools in California. So that means if you're planning on transferring to another school or you're going to go to one of these schools in the future, you already have something taken care of, a graduation requirement that's already taken care of once you pass this Library 100 class. To wrap it up, what is an information literate student? Well, an information literate student knows where to go when they're given an assignment. They know who to talk to or what resources to look at. They know how to use the research tools that are available to them, and they know how those tools work. They're able to evaluate the quality of sources they find. They're able to extract knowledge and ideas from sources to support their own ideas in their own papers. And they're able to express their ideas clearly and concisely. By the end of this class, I hope you will all be more than information competent. I hope that you will all be information experts.